Good afternoon, class. We are looking at Math 130 Intermediate Algebra homepage. This is the orientation, and it is being recorded. If there is any issue with privacy, please make sure your audio video is muted at all the time. And don't write anything in the chat while things are being recorded. Also, again, if you have a issue with privacy, change your name to initials. So just to let you know. All right. I sent several emails and I hope you've read the email in its entirety and you have checked your homepage here. So let's take a couple of minutes going over the steps. When you get to your Canvas and you go to Math 130, the very first thing, number one, watch the welcome message. There is a short welcome message here, class. I hope you have watched it. If you haven't, you can look at it later on. I'm not going to, spend time on that here. Okay. The next one, read number two, read the class philosophy. So let's quickly do that. So basically, this class is a community, and therefore we all have the same objective: to learn. Online students often feel isolated, but it is vitally important to know you are not in this alone. I would like each of you to approach our online class with a great attitude and a willingness to help one another. Many problems and questions can be resolved by asking a few students, okay, a fellow student. I am always here to help you, but I truly believe your experience will be more fruitful if you communicate with your fellow students as well. So let us work together to make this a memorable semester for each and every one of us. So that is the class philosophy. The next one, you want to read the posted announcements. So let's take a look at the announcements. And the first one is the welcome and orientation. Again, you're already here. It basically gives you the date of the orientation, and it gives you the overview of the Zoom. You are here, you already know what to do. And there was a welcome orientation that file that basically covers a few things, including the date and the URL for today's session, and of course some pep talk, the date of exams, and so on and so forth. I will go over that as we cover the syllabus. The next thing is the exemption to orientation. Again, the purpose of that was for those who for some reason they couldn't be here. Between the two files, the file that you find under the welcome and orientation and this file, you could be exempt by getting started basically with the course and Mom My Open Math, which is the digital homework we're going to use. And this is an old orientation recording class. Okay, all of this was for you, so in case you couldn't be here, you could go through the process and get started. Now, number four, follow the steps below. So these are the steps we're going to follow, class. Number one is the syllabus. Read and explore all the segments. As you can see on the left side, we have a bunch of, links. I'm going to actually change this setting to student setting. Okay, so it makes it a tad easier to follow. And now, basically the next step says, okay, take a look at the syllabus and see what's given. Okay. And the idea is to read and explore that. Now, what I want to add here, class, is very simple. Normally, and nowadays, the syllabus is getting larger and larger, and it's going to be difficult perhaps to read the whole thing. So I have put topics for you okay, such as course catalog description and objectives, text, calendar, so on and so forth, okay? And at the very least, look at the parts that you find them interesting for you. For the sake of argument, I would say the list of things that you want to look at is the grading policy here. And of course, I'm going to take a couple of minutes, look at the whole thing for your class. But I highly recommend whenever you get a chance, anything that seems to be way too much, go back and look at the topic of interest. So quickly, of course, it's the course catalog and description telling us what we will cover, which will be, systems of equations, equalities, inequalities, absolute value equalities, logs, so on and so forth. It basically goes over that and student learning outcome. Text, it's a free text class. Okay, I will go over that when we start the my open math. And you don't have to purchase anything. You don't even need the PDF file. If you think you do, you can download that. Now, online assignments, everything is done by my open math, which is free. We go over that again, as I mentioned shortly. As far as the class calendar is concerned, of course, we have the orientation and we are here. Now, the next thing that is extremely important, I believe, for the students, it should be, is the time of exam, review, and the exams. The exams basically takes place every 3-4 weeks. Okay. We have 4 exams and a comprehensive final. So for example, the first one, it's in a few weeks on Friday, the 26th. Okay. So it doesn't take long before we hit the exam. Now, the setup is such that the day before on Thursday from 2 to 4, we have a review session. Of course, class, I will have that, recorded and posted. But I hope you can make yourself available. It's normally better if you are here, okay? And then on Friday, again, I make myself available for you from 2 to 4 in case you have a question. However, I give you a chance to take the exam the whole day, okay? In other words, you can take it anytime as long as you remember that takes 2 hours, so you don't want to start it too late, okay? For the sake of argument, if it expires at 11:59 p.m. and you have 2 hours to do the exam, if you start at 11, you are given only 59 minutes. You don't want to do that. And there is a note here that explains all of that, okay? So attending review session is highly recommended to succeed in this course. However, our review sessions are recorded and become available under the Zoom recording shortly after, okay? I will also post them under the recorded practice test tab here, okay? On the left side, okay? Recorded practice test. I hope everybody can see what I'm referring to, okay? On the left column. All right, now, calculators, you may use a scientific calculator. Tech support, we have the campus tech support, as I'm sure many of you know that, as well as the publisher support. Remember, this is OER. It's an open educational resource. It is free, and therefore their support is also limited. I want you to know that. Math Success Center, we have the tutoring center called the Math Success Center, and we have their website for more information. You can look into that, and I will put more information for you on the left side. You see this Math Success Center, so you can always refer to that with for more details. Okay, there are other helpful websites that I put here. The next thing that I believe is extremely important for students would be the grading policy. Okay, so let's quickly cover that. So first and foremost, we have the online assignments, the homework that is 200 points. Now this class, you do it in MOM, my open math, and basically there is no limit as to how many times you do it, and how long it takes you to finish a homework, as long as it's done within the due date. And I'll discuss that as we go through my open math. You see what I'm talking about. There are 5 hours of DLA SLA. It's worth 50 points, and it is done through Math Success Center. Again, on the left side, you see the Math Success Center. You want to click on that and find out what's going on. I can't emphasize this enough. Those are easy 50 points you can't afford to miss. Then we have the participation, and that means using the discussion forum. That's also 50 points. I will show you shortly. And then we have 4 exams class. These exams are worth 100 each, okay? And the final, which is comprehensive, and it's worth 300 points. All of this is taking place in my open math. This is a point system. 1,000 points adds up to give you the full points. 90%, that means 900 points or more, gives you an A. 80%, that means 800 points or more, gives you a B, so on and so forth. Basically, there is no makeup policy, okay? Let me know, okay, if something comes up. However, one of the things that I want to mention is that the final score, okay, under the following conditions, I will replace the worst fair exam among the first 4. First and foremost, you got to receive at least 80% or higher on the final. And then on your homework and discussion forum, you can't get anything less than 90%. And more importantly, this action will result in a higher letter grade. If I make the changes and your grade doesn't change, let's say from C to B, and let's say it is 75%, and with the change becomes 77%, it is still a C. There is no reason to do that, okay? Needless to say, if you miss any of the exams, it is 0. The late policy, okay. I do have a 10% penalty for late policy, and you can use a late pass within a few days, of course, to do the stuff that have been overdue. But trust me, this is a fast-paced course. You can't take a chance with that. I will show you the concept of a late pass in my open math. And then we have more stuff. One of the things that I find interesting for students is what is called CSULB Study 36. So take a look at this. You can find that on the website for Long Beach State. Basically what it says, we need to spend at least three hours outside studying for 1 unit of a course. This is a 5-unit course. You need to study 15 hours outside. Bear in mind, this is online. So in essence, 5 hours in, 15 hours out, total of 20 hours of work. That may sound like a lot of hours, but that's how we succeed. Dropping policy, basically, students who missed the orientation, you're already here, will be dropped unless they start with my open math right away. If they do not register with the if you do not register with the publisher, although you're here, if you don't start, if you have already started, more power to you. If you don't start within 24 hours, I will drop you because you won't have time to catch up. If you miss the first assignments, and I'll show you they are due within a week, I will drop you again because this is an online course and you are starting the course if you start showing work, okay, class? Or if you miss any of the exams. Then I have more information like DSPS and financial aid, student office hours. It's posted here. It's also on the home page, and supplemental learning assistant requirement that I just mentioned, the 5% DLA or SLA. And again, if you go to Math Success Center, they explain it to you. Let me go back to the homepage. I spent enough time, I believe, on the syllabus, and you can spend more. The next one, number 2, is the modules. Let me just read what it tells us. It says print the practice test, watch the PowerPoints, solve the practice test, and then do the homework in my open math and look at the practice test and its solution. All of this in essence come from modules. So let's stick with modules and see what's going on. Okay, if you look at the left side, you see the modules here, or you can click the modules here, it doesn't matter. Now, the very first thing you come across is mom, and see what it says. No need for course ID. I can't emphasize this enough because every semester this comes up and I have no idea why. It clearly says no course ID. Okay, so there is no need for course ID. Why? Because you are accessing it through Canvas. So if you click on this, what happens? Well, if you have an account with my OpenMath, it is asking you for username and password, sign in, and you're right in. However, if you don't have an account, what happens? Well, create an account. How do you create an account? Just follow the steps. Input the information and create an account, and it takes you right into the course. Okay, class, it takes you right into the course. So what I want to do, I want to just quickly change that. Okay, to leave the student view and show you when you click on that, it takes you to my OpenMath. Okay, so this is after you register. We will come back to discuss that. Okay, we will come back to discuss that. Okay, and so I believe this is the one we are going to look at later on. But for now, let me go back again. We are looking at the module. Okay. Notice, so the first one is your, digital homework, my OpenMath. Fine. What is the next one? Module 1, exam 1 module, exam 2 module, exam 3 module, exam 4, and exam 5. Now, the first exam, everything is covered here, plus the homework that you do here. The second exam here, the third exam here, the fourth exam here. For the final, everybody, you study the previous exams and this new module, module number 5. That's all. I hope everybody understands what I'm saying and what's going on with module 5. You study to get ready for the final. You study from the previous exams and this module. That's all. So let's see how each module works. First, I put the practice test for you. Why is that? And I would highly recommend you print it. If you don't want to print it, you don't have to. Just, look at that. All I want you to do, just read this for, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes. What does it tell you? It tells you what is going to be covered in the first module, which is equations and inequalities, graphs, and functions. And you'll notice a bunch of it you're very comfortable with, you know how to handle it, and a bunch of it you may not. So that's the first thing you do. Now, why do you do that? Because as you go through the PowerPoints that I have here, then you realize you can do the questions, and on a daily basis, you do a couple of questions. So for example, look at this one, chapter 2, equations and inequalities. It takes you here, and those are my PowerPoints. Okay, so you click on the first one and you watch it. Okay, and please do not put any comments for my PowerPoints class. Okay, so you can download it, everybody. You can download it, and you can put it in slide mode and watch that. So that's chapter 2. The next one is chapter 3 class. Again, you have a bunch of sections, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 7 sections, okay? Just if I click on one of them, okay? If I click on one of them, take a look, okay? It shows the sections that we cover, graphs, functions, so on and so forth, okay? So as you can, and you can go back, and go to the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. So what do? Well, basically you go through the PowerPoints, you watch it, just if you put them in slide mode class, step by step, it shows you definitions, it shows you examples, it shows you solutions step by step. I put a lot of time and effort into this. And if you follow that, it works perfect for you. Finally, um, after you're done with chapter 2 and chapter 3, and again, I'm hoping that on a daily basis, you do that and you answer the questions on the practice test, then consult the solution. Look at the solution here. Each one, if you click on the solution, there's a video solution that comes up. Okay, I'm not going to go over that, but if you click on that, the solution is there with details, everybody, with details. So I can't emphasize this enough. So I hope you do this in the order that I'm asking you. Now, what about your homework? In my opinion, when you want to do the homework, do the chapter PowerPoint first, at least a couple of, I would do 2 sections at a time, 1 or 2 sections. Then I would go to mom and do my homework. So let me go back to the home page so you see what I'm talking about. So modules, we've printed the practice test and skimmed the questions. We have watched the PowerPoints in slide mode, and we solve the practice test one by one on a daily basis, a couple of them. And the next one is doing the homework. So to do the homework, we have to go to my Open Math. To go to my Open Math, we go to modules, and top here, we have registered, we are ready to check it out. So here's my Open Math, everybody. Let me put this in student mode. I want to show you a couple of things. First of all, I put all the exams at top, so there's no way for anybody to, lose that. You don't have to worry about that at all because we don't have an exam yet. The next thing, okay, welcome to intermediate algebra. I have a short message for you. The next thing I want you to pay attention to this calendar class. Over here, you can change the number of weeks. So 4 is a norm. That means it shows you 4 weeks. I want you to take a look at what happens here. Today is the 8th, and this coming Friday, we have a few homework due. Anybody who is not done with those by Friday will be dropped, okay? Those are the first one is basically introduction, okay, to my Open Math. And I want to make sure that you know how to input the information. And there are a few, homework that is really prior knowledge of mathematics for you. It's elementary, you should know. And then look at your homework here. I don't want you to think that all of the homework has to be done here. It makes no sense to do it in one shot. So what am I asking you to do is just to do the homework in a timely fashion. Every day do 1 or 2 sections. Okay, class? Every day do 1 or 2 sections. Please do not wait until that day or the day before. You won't have time to finish it. I guarantee you that. Now, let's go from the top, okay, and start reading something. First, I want you to notice what I have here. Module numbers versus chapter numbers. Note, follow the course by following modules in my Open Math and in Canvas. They cover the same topics. Do not pay attention to the numbers for the chapters, as these chapter numbers may not agree in Canvas and in MOL. What am I talking about? Just pay attention to modules. So first exam covers module 1, second one's module 2, third one module 3, fourth one module 4, and what is module 5? A portion of your final. Okay. So what is module 0? And that's what I want to go over quickly. Module 0, as you can see, it reads text, gradebook, calendar, late pass, introduction, okay, assignments, and so on and so forth. So let me click on that. The very first thing is introduction to my open math. So Clive, when you basically resume, it just tells you to like enter a number. Okay, it is checking to see if you can enter numbers, if you can do the rounding, some very basic stuff, and it will show you how to enter your answers. That's all there is to it. Okay, so the purpose of that is to make sure we don't take a chance. You know how to use my open math. That is the purpose of this. That's why I put it at the very top, everybody. At the very top. So just get started with that. So what else do we find under module 0? Well, intermediate algebra, the text, here's the second edition. So if you click on that, it takes you to OpenStax. OpenStax, again, is a open resource, an open resource which is free, and it gives us the text. Again, I mainly use that as a reference. Honestly, if you stick with my PowerPoints and really follow it step by step the way I asked you, putting it in slide mode, you probably don't even need to go there as far as the text is concerned, okay? Going back, so under module 0, we found the text, okay? What else do we find? My open math, gradebook, calendar, how to use a late pass. You see these 3, each one is a very short video. For example, this, how do I use the gradebook? I mean, where do I find my grades? What does it mean, which is explained here? Or take a look, I have an assignment. Take a look at this one, for example. If you have a grade in front of your assignments, and if you click on it, it brings up the assignment. You can review the assignment. So I hope you spend maybe maximum of 5 minutes on this module 0 to learn about this stuff. Okay, just for the sake of argument, how do I use the late pass? If you click on that, there is a video. I'm
So
not
what happens
going
if you
to
miss the
time
due
on
date?
that. Okay, but I want to make sure that you understand none of this is more than a couple of minutes. So under module 0, we found the introduction to my open math textbook, the information about gradebook, calendar, late passes, and so forth. Now, what it says chapter 1, this is really the review stuff from elementary algebra you should know. And module 1 is really beginning of the course. Now, over here, it gives you the information about order of operations, this one, properties of algebra. So for example, if you click on 1.2, the homework, notice what it reads for me. It says resume. That means I have been working on that, and here's my point. So I'm going to show you what happens. I'm going to click on resume, okay? And so I've done one question, and then I'm going to click on this, and I do another question. It says, select all the sets to which the following number belongs. 1/4 is a rational number, okay? A fractional form where the top and the bottom are both integers are considered rational numbers. And every rational number is also a real number, okay? So I submit the question, and I can go to the next question and the next question and the next question. I can keep on going. So basically you go to the next question to do that, and the next question and the next question. Anytime you or done, you can just click on done and leave, or maybe you're not done, but something comes up, or you're tired. You want to go take a 5-minute break. You just say done, and notice what I receive here. It says question 1, I have it. Question 2, I have it, and they are correct. But I have a few questions that I need to do. What does it mean? Well, I can resume or I can exit. Now, I'm going to exit for now, but remember what's going to happen. The moment I click on it, again, it gives me a chance to resume. This is how you do the homework. However, please do this assignment first to learn how to input everything. Under module 0, you find this assignment. You also find these 3 assignments that pertain to previous course. Other than that, you go to module 1 and you start with chapters. It has some information here, and then you start the homework. So I hope everybody is clear as to how we do that. You just got to open each one, okay? Everything is closed. So click on this and open it. Okay, this may be closed. Okay, chapters 2 and 3, both of them are closed. Click on it and open it. Okay, so I'm closing everything. I'm going to go to back to the instructor view, but more importantly, I want to go back to the home page of our Canvas. So under the modules, okay, we did all of this, and now we've done even the homework. The practice test solution was also discussed. The next one says discussion forum. So what is the discussion forum? Take a look at the left side, everybody. Here's the discussion forum. So what do we have here? The first one is student bios, okay? And I have put my own, and I think some students have put some bios. I don't want to go over it yet. But just look at mine, and similar to that, you can write a few, lines or a paragraphs about yourself so students can get to know you, your fellow students. Frequently asked questions. Please read this. It doesn't take more than a couple of minutes of your time. For example, whatever questions that I've seen in the past that I remember, I put it up here. One of the questions is course ID. I just mentioned there is no need for course ID. All you have to go click on modules here, okay, and go to my open math and register. Text, okay, the text can be found online. Tech support, access to expired homework. Do I have access to redo homework with a 10% penalty within a few days, not for the entire semester, okay? So that's the discussion forum so far. Now, what are the rest? Now the rest are graded. One pertains to exam 1, one pertains to exam 2, all the way to the final. So I'll show you one of them, and the rest basically follow. Take a look. So I'm going to quickly cover that for you. It's extremely important to pay attention to this. This is worth 10 points, and those are easy 10 points class you don't want to miss. So take a look. You are required to post at least one question and its solution, either from the practice test number 1, posted under the modules, or any source of your choice per grading policy. You must read all the posts and make sure not to duplicate any questions. Similar questions are acceptable. Let me make sure everybody understands what we are doing here. Something that pertains to the first exam, okay? You can find it from anywhere, doesn't have to be from practice test, but it has to pertain just to the first 2 chapters, chapters 2 and 3 that we cover based on our PowerPoints, okay? Those are the ones. Pick a question, but it has to be a worthy question. So number 1, read all the posts, questions, and solutions posted by others first, and then pick a different question. No duplication is acceptable, okay? A question with one word solution or definition is not acceptable and results in 0 points. for the post. So you do this part is worth 5 points. Needless to say, if you're the very first person doing that, there is nothing for you to read. However, I'm hoping every day you come and you read all the posts, it takes a couple of minutes of your time. But trust me, you do that, you will learn a lot. Every day, 5 minutes of your time. I promise you no more than that. I promise you. Number one, write the question number and copy down the question. If you're using the practice test question, you got to write down question number so and so. And you want to write the question with details. And you want to show the steps, okay, using the math palette. Number two, find a similar problem online or on YouTube or on Khan Academy and post it here. Why do I want you to do that? Number one, you take a few minutes to, research that. Number two, you take a few minutes to watch that. Number three, you're going to watch others, and that gives you a lot of information. That gives you 3 points. Finally, comment and or explain at least one classmate question that is either solved or is found online and posted by watching it carefully. You have to write the name of your classmate here because I want to know whose question you looked at or whose video. Maybe they put a video up and you just watched that video and you're commenting on that video. That's fine. But which student? Okay, you have to put the name. Example of a student. Okay, example of a student post. This is something I made up. So question 15. Let's assume it's question 15 of a practice test. Solve this equation. So I solve it step by step. Then I find a similar question on YouTube and I post it for the fellow students. And then I'm commenting on somebody's, John Doe's YouTube post. They have a YouTube post. Okay, I watched their YouTube post and I'm making a comment. Okay. Now, this third step, if you are the first person to post, this third step you can't do because there is nobody else is there. Okay, so that you write pending. And every day you check as soon as somebody has something posted, you can check it out and write the comment and it's no longer pending. I won't grade that until you have the third part. Okay. Now, of course, then I have a video here that says how to use Math Palette. Also, I have a video here, how to embed an image if you want. All you have to do, class, reply, okay, reply and put the question here with details. And I'm going to say cancel, of course. And that, believe it or not, it doesn't take more than a few minutes of your time. And you just got yourself, take a look, 10 points. Isn't that fascinating? Okay, so you put the discussion for it. The next thing says note optional, the sample test solution. If you look at the left side, I have the multimedia text sample test, okay? This one class. And the reason I say it's optional because I used to have everything there, but now pretty much you can find everything under Canvas. You don't need that. Make a note of this site in case Canvas is not available. It happens sometimes, class. So you can go back to the top. Okay, see module 1, everybody. Okay, module 2, module 3. This is the same as what we have seen. If something goes wrong and Canvas is not available for any reason, you can go there. Otherwise, you really don't need that. What happens afterwards? Exams. Take the scheduled exams. Where do you find the exams? My Open Math. Finally, attend student office hours for any Q&A. So the timing is Mondays and Wednesdays, 3:30 to 6 p.m. And here's the URL. And this is it. Now, I want to quickly recap what I said. By the way, the review sessions on the left side, class, under the left side, under the Tech Connect Zoom, you can find where we can get together. See, the very first one is February 25th, which is a Thursday at 2 p.m. Okay, we are meeting for the review session. Okay, class? And the next day I am available, okay, if you have a question. So how do we get together for the exam review? Under Tech Connect Zoom, click on it. Also, all the recordings, cloud recordings become available here. However, on the left side, this recorded practice test, I will post them here as they become available. Now, when I go over something, the day I go over that, the recording is available here under the cloud recording a lot faster than here, because I have to make sure it gets here and I copy it and put it up here. Therefore, you can find it under that cloud recording of the Zoom. So let's quickly recap. All you have to do, come to your home page of Canvas. Number one, watch the welcome message. You're already here. Number two, the class philosophy was discussed. It's a community. Let's be nice to one another. Let's learn from one another. Number three, the announcements. You really don't have anything to worry about that. Most everything has been discussed. Okay. Under the announcements, however, you can find welcome and orientation. You're already here. Exemption orientation. You're already here. Orientation recording. You are already here. But anyways, going back to the home page. So follow the steps. We looked at the syllabus. Under the modules, you can find the modules as well as my open math, practice test, discussion forum, exams, office hours. So again, under the modules, everybody, you can find my open math, no need for course ID, it's got everything you need. And just concentrate on the first exam module, ignore everything else for now, because trust me, by the time we finish exam one module, you know exactly what to do with the rest of it, okay? And don't forget the discussion forum. Those are easy points. As I mentioned on the left side, we have this Math Success Center. I highly recommend you go to their website, okay, and learn about that. It talks about online tutoring and everything else. So please explore this. One of the things that you want to be looking at is SLAs, they call them DLAs. Look at Math 130 here, class. So SLA for Math 815, Math 110, Math 130, and Math 140. And that will explain what needs to be done. Please take a few minutes to explore their website as well. This is it, class. I wish you all best of luck. And this is the end of the recording.